Yeah.
Like, just join the team. Why not? You know, you may not get this opportunity again. And it
Yeah.
took him like 2 times asking me. And so, you know, once their season ended, we showed up to a practice together. You know, and we, you know, joined the team, shook the coach's hand. He didn't really. He was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." Went about his day. Gave us the workout. And just like anything else in life, starting off is probably the hardest thing that you can, you know, you
Oh,
gotta build
100%.
consistency, build your schedule, build just, you know, kind of who you are as you're gonna progress through what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Like the last 3 weeks was by far like, you know, the most stress I've dealt with in a really long time. So,
Yeah, I know bet. I saw you graduated, so congratulations, man.
yeah, yeah, man, I appreciate it. That was it was kind of nerve wracking, you know, trying to balance these grad photos, but just like the stress too, just the mental aspect of everything, still balancing training and all that. So
No, 100%. What did it feel surreal when you crossed, by that stage? You're like, I actually got,
yeah,
I actually got the paper finally.
yeah, it was a long time coming, bro. Like, honestly, it happened too fast. It was like, you know, they called your name, you walked across the stage. Then now what? Do I apply for jobs now or like what?
Yeah. No, that's. I mean, hey, like you'd be surprised that only a small percentage of people actually graduate. So
Yeah,
just getting the degree is such a huge step in, towards whatever you're trying to do in the future. So,
exactly.
but I also saw that you're going to grad school, right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Masters in exercise science. So,
yeah. That's no joke either. That's not, that's not an easy graduate program either. So
but like the thing about me, I was like, I want to choose something that like I could apply like for the rest of my life going forward. You know, so what I learned and that, you know, I could apply to track. You know, what I'm doing as far as athletic skills and whatnot. And it's really helpful, bro. If I was to give advice to any athletes, it would be, for one, take A&P. You know, regardless of your major or whatever, take A&P so you can know, you know, where you're hurting. You know, who to, you know. Um, it just helps so much, man. Being able to apply what you learn.
no, for sure. All right, why don't we go ahead and get this thing started for real?
Do it.
Okay, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, who you're from, or who you are, where you're from, you know, maybe a
Okay.
little bit of background.
Yeah. So my name is Devante Jack. I am an unattached runner. Of course, I'm from a small town called Gina, Louisiana. Really small town, bro. Maybe 3,500 population. Um, Born and raised there. I originally went to school in Shreveport. I went there for basketball, believe it or not. Went to secondary college for basketball. And ended up finding my love in track by accident, pretty much. Nobody really knows that part side of the story. Um, you know, went to another junior college, bordering college. I was going for PTA school, but you know, it's crazy how life changes, bro. Now here I am, graduating my bachelor's after some time. So, um, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? 24 on
Um,
set.
okay, so we got a deep dive into that little basketball thing right there. I didn't know that at all.
Really?
So you did you get offered by them to play basketball, or were
Yeah.
you kind of walk on?
It was an offer, pretty much. It's at a D3, so you know you don't receive athletic scholarships for that. But yeah, I mean, it was an offer though. They were like, you know, they came, scout came, saw me play. You know, we want you here, and I jumped on that. That was basketball was my first love. It was always my first love coming out of high school, like always. And so, and one thing I vowed was I would never run track in college. I was like, you know, mentally, I wasn't there. mentally I knew that track track sucks, bro. Or not like that, but like the pain that comes with it. You know, it's like in my head, it's like, why would I want to do something that I'm agonizing in pain the entire time? You know, and now I love it. You know, mental shift. But yeah, bro, I went there for basketball. Even looked past the track offer to go play basketball, and you know, and I'll dive into its, I guess, deeper. That was kind of the whole reason I created content or started into content creating was because I had a story to tell. Just my whole story and just everything that happened. But I'll kind of jump past that a little bit. I don't want to dive into that just yet. But yeah, my buddy was like, you know, give it out, give it a shot. Why not? You may not be able to again. So I
Yeah,
gave it a
yeah,
shot.
100%. If you, you know, you can say as much as you want to when it comes to, comfortability about things,
Yeah,
but I'm very curious. I would assume you were, if you were, I don't care if it's D3, D2, D1. If you're offered to play a sport in college, then that means you're a legitimate athlete. I
yeah,
don't care what. There's going to be dogs no matter the division.
yeah,
And I tell this to high school kids all the time. It's like you have no idea why somebody picked the school. Like there could be somebody out there that you know decides to go to a D school over a D1 school because they're offering him full scholarship and they have the major he wants to go to. And
mm-hmm.
he has kind of like a futuristic mindset where it's like, I only see myself doing this 4 to 5 years, even though I'm this great. I'm trying to, get my future secured, get that degree or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, so it doesn't mean they're a bad athlete at all. It just means they, because I mean, we both know like going pro, no matter the sport you're in, is there's a lot of things that you can't control, especially when
yeah,
it comes to injuries and all that stuff. Probably something you faced along the way too.
yeah.
Um, but anyways, I'm very curious because obviously you felt as though you had the capability to do both, or at least you had the mindset of like, okay, I love basketball, but maybe my talent is more aligned with track. Like what was that decision making between going and switching from basketball to track?
That's what I'm saying, bro. I didn't even okay. So because I left out some context there. I told you I didn't really want to dive into it too much, but I can't really dive into it without giving some context. So
Yeah.
pretty much, I automatically got placed. So freshman year, I made a varsity.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Before you say anything, you like if this is something that's, personal, whatever, you don't have to. I am just from a purely like um maybe focus on more of a mindset perspective of like a
Yeah,
confidence kind of thing. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like,
Well, no, I get that. It was just no. It was for like the sake of like content though, like because I was supposed to dive into this like during my own time, like you
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
nothing like
For
too
sure, for
personal.
sure,
It's just
for sure. We well, here I got a good idea. Why don't you go ahead and talk about maybe your background and story in high school first. Let's talk
okay.
about that. Let's talk
Okay.
about let's talk about high school Devante. Let's go with
High
that
school
first.
content. So my basketball coach was like, if you want to play basketball the next year, then you have to run track. So he started off, giving everybody the events they were going to run. You're running this event, you're running this event. So he told some of the seniors, he was like, y'all are going to run the mile, this and that. They were like, heck no. They were like, no, we're not. I'm not doing that. So he gave it to me. He was like, you're going to run the mile. Um, so yeah, that's how I got into the mile. And I ended up going into state for it. I was like the only one that went to state for it. So I was like, okay. People were starting to realize I'm good at track. I just don't really focus on it. So, years passed and I kept scoring higher and higher at state. I got third. Let me see, wait a second. Yeah, I got third at state. So yeah, it was eighth at state freshman year, fifth at state sophomore year. third at state junior year, and then COVID hit. So probably by the time I found my love for track, I didn't have a season because COVID hit. I'm sure I probably would have taken a whole different trajectory if had I run that season. But it is what it is. So didn't have that season. Um, but to get to what you were asking, I didn't care about track. It was not my thing. Um, I told you I love basketball. Like this whole track thing was not to say it was an accident, but it was just like just do it because why not? Um, I mean, and that was in college. That was after basketball was my first love. Um, but I feel like I'm kind of rambling a little bit.
No, no, you're good.
Kind of getting sidetracked. But yeah, man, my buddy was like, just join the team. You know, why not? So I did. Met up with the coach. And I skipped. Did I address? I guess the high school part. What you're asking.
Um, yeah, I mainly, I'm very, I guess, I'm just like, I just very curious, like, may, maybe what I'm not understanding here is like you just said, like, you completely didn't like track at all throughout high school. Like,
Right.
it was a side thing that you were like,
Yep.
is conditioning
Yeah.
kind of thing.
One
You
hundred
get what I'm
percent.
saying?
Yeah.
And so you had no intention, no expectation to do anything with it. It just, it was like, I know I'm good at it, so why don't we try and why not kind of thing.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. It was like, why not? Because I was doing tennis. I'd rather play tennis. Also, I was going to stay for tennis as well, and they clashed. We did
Wow.
tennis and track at the same time. So
Yeah.
like, I would leave track practice and go to tennis practice. Um, and yeah, I prefer tennis over track as well. I'm telling you, bro. I did not. I vowed. I said I will not do track in college. It hurts too much. Mentally, I just wasn't prepared to do that. Yeah, so there was no intent of running track.
That's yeah, no, that's pretty crazy because it's like my thing is that in order for you to run track in college, and unless there's only an exception I think if it's JUCO, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of JUCO teams will kind of bring on anyone on their team
Yeah,
just to fill, but because D3 through D1, there and you've seen this too. There are dogs in D3.
dogs.
There
Yeah,
there are guys that easily would have a roster spot, if not NIL, the Division One school.
yeah.
Doesn't matter what the event is.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's guys that um, I want to say there was a guy that like ran 144 in D3 and 800.
I'm not surprised.
Uh, and anyways,
Or
it's like
maybe D was it? Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
um, it was either D2 or D3, but I'm pretty sure it was D3. And he ran like 144 or something, and but it's like you take that guy and he has a chance to win a natty at the Division One level.
Yeah,
So it's like what my point I'm getting to is that unless you are ready to go through the pain, no matter what Division One division level in college in the track space, it's like you kind of have to be all in or not.
yeah.
So that transition from you, um, you know, that might have been a little bit hard. You think you found that pretty hard?
Coming up to the championship meet was the hardest part of that season. So you want me to dive into that season a little bit? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you could, no, for sure, that would be some great context right there.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. And did I answer that? Because I still don't feel like I answered that first bit that you wanted to know. Because I'm
Um,
telling you, so like okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, but like that's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't like intentional to like I guess
yeah,
make this
no,
switch.
no, 100%. I mean, the like, I guess the answer we're all looking for is, uh, like, oh, I thought I was a dog in track, and that was, like, but my high school basketball was my main sport, and it's like basketball wasn't working out, so I decided to do track. But if we're being raw, we're being real, which you should be. It's like it's okay. I mean, if you just stumbled upon it and like it was just all of a sudden, something you found yourself good at, and you just wanted to, I feel like it kind of came from an internal thing of like just wanting to become a better version of yourself, just to exercise that competitiveness, if that makes sense.
No,
No.
no.
Wow, I'm reading this wrong.
um, because like I was okay before track, because I was I told you basketball wasn't working out. I was on JV team. The coach didn't really care about us too much. I'm gonna be real. He didn't really care about us.
Yeah.
Our practices were cut short every time. I was doing really bad in school, bro. Really bad. I had like a 1.6 GPA, I think 1.4. It got bad. I was depressed. Biology and chemistry was just ruining me. I was drinking every weekend, partying every because I didn't care. And
Wow.
this was coming up into the like track season. And my
Yeah.
buddy was like, that's what I'm saying. My buddy was like, because he tried to get me to do it last year. I said no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Like just join the team because why not? You may not get this opportunity again. And it
Yeah.
took him like two times asking me. Um, and so once their season ended, we showed up to a practice together. And we joined the team, shook the coach's hand. He didn't really. He was like, "Oh, nice to meet you." Went about his day, gave us the workout, and just like anything else in life, starting off is probably the hardest thing that you can. You
Oh,
got to build
100%.
consistency, build your schedule, build just kind of who you are as you're going to progress through what you're getting at.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I knew that I was decent. I knew during the basketball season, I knew that people knew that I was good at running. We had to
Yeah.
do a 6.5 mile minute, or six and a half minute mile for basketball,
Yeah.
like for like a test, conditioning test.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I ran like 5:40 or something. They're like, wow, you should run track. I'm like, no,
Yeah. You're like, no.
no, no. Um, so I knew that I was decent at it. I just knew that I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Um, so I did it with my buddy. Started off with a 2:06 800, and by the way, I joined halfway through the season. By the way, this was like early April or late March. So 2:06 800. 2 months later, 152 conference championship. Um, so,
That is ridiculous. I don't know how, I don't know your perspective on this or how you feel about this, but like from an alternative perspective, doing something like that is literally everyone's dream.
yeah,
It's insane. It's like I wouldn't doubt I wouldn't doubt that there was a bunch of hard work that, you put into it, a lot of within that span of, that those months or whatever, it was like dial in as much as you possibly can. No,
Mhm.
actually, I've been reading this entire thing wrong, so I'm not going to assume anything anymore. Maybe you were still partying and still going, doing stuff. Um, but regardless, it takes a special person to do what you were able to do,
Mhm.
because a lot of people don't even have the speed capability to even run 152.
Yeah,
Like, if I totally trade on the 800, I could probably in a year or something run 152, but I know that's not where my max potential is going to be. So I focus more on mile, 2 mile, kind of stuff. That
yeah,
true mid distance stuff,
yeah,
because 800 is more of a mixture of
anaerobic and stuff.
Yeah, anaerobic. Not saying that you don't need to put in miles for 800 because you do, um, but it's like there's some guys out there in high school that I know, and they ask me how to get fast at 800, and sometimes depending on if how well I know them and how well I can give them advice and train them, and maybe I know. Sometimes I tell them I'm like, maybe you're not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah,
Like maybe you can't break 150, maybe you can't break 155. Now, if we're talking about the mile, then I'm like, okay, if you really maximize your mileage in your training, then you could potentially in the future break 410.
yeah,
But it's like, I mean, so to run, I know you only ran 152 in that season, but to run 149, you know, in the near future after that, is still it's a crazy feat.
yeah,
That's all. That's what I'm like. You see what I'm going here? Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to put all the puzzle pieces together, and I'm like,
Gotcha.
how did this guy run 152 after being on the basketball team, but then not caring about it, but then not even focused on track? And like, I'm like, damn. I'm like,
Yeah.
you were like this man is like legitimately talented. So, um,
And
but
I'm
you get
still
what I'm
learning.
saying?
Yeah. And bro, and like I've had several coaches tell me like how, and I love hearing that, like knowing that they see the potential in me, like potential. You know what I'm saying? Like down the
Yeah,
line. Like just last week, my coach, or just a few weeks ago, my coach was like, "I think you could break 4 minutes in the mile." And I was like, "I'm glad you see it because I don't." But just seeing that, knowing the fact that this is like my third year of running track competitively, actually taking it seriously,
yeah,
I'm still fairly new to it, and just seeing the way that I'm progressing, the way that I'm dropping, you know. Just this cross country season, I dropped my 5K by 2.5 minutes. I went from a seven to what? Well, I started out with an 18:17. Like this
hmm
season, started out with an 18:17. Finished with a 15. What was it? 15:46.
that's nice. That's good
Yeah,
right there.
yeah. Um, Probably could have kept going. In the, for the 15, ran a 3:57. No, 3:50. I don't remember. 3:50 something. Um, I couldn't even break 4:05 last year. Um, so just seeing how I'm progressing just shocks me too. Just
Yeah,
like you seeing it as an alternative perspective. You don't know. I don't know either. I'm just enjoying the process. I found my love in it. Um, I don't know, bro. I don't know what to
so
tell you.
okay, so you might have just said it right then, but just to clarify, you do enjoy it now, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Now, yes, yes. Now, so you thought this whole time I didn't care for it that much? I guess
What did you say?
I said this whole time you thought I didn't really care for it that much.
No, I'm just making sure you did enjoy it now because
Yeah.
I'm like I'm like is he just ore farming or something? Is he just
Right.
going out there
No,
trying
no. At the
149
time, right. No,
just to
at the
flex
time
on
I
other
didn't
people?
care.
It's like
No,
like
I
you're
care.
just like there's just some random there's some random high school kid out there that's like complaining. He's like man, I can never want break and you're just out there. You're like, bro,
But
watch
man,
me do this. In just a couple years, I'll be 149. And it's like
140. No, then I didn't care, bro. But now, I take pride in it. I've kind of loosened up a little bit. Um, I feel like every athlete goes through this, but where they take their sport too seriously and it kind of destroys them as a person. Honestly, I'm sure. I'm sure you've probably dealt with that. I guess. But I mean, there was one season I got injured. Well, yeah, it was the season before last. I got injured, like my second race into the season. It just destroyed me, bro. And that's when I realized, I love
yeah,
what I do. Um, and it's just taught me so much. I mean, you can apply it to life. Like, especially when I was running cross country, it's like you got all these people with the same goal, cross the line first, and it's
hmm
like that's life also, people applying for the job you want. There's several people that want the same job. Some people are going to work harder for it. Some people aren't going to work as hard for it. some people are going to be consistent, some people aren't going to be as consistent, and the ones you see, or the ones I can't say for certain, but the ones that probably have the best chances are the ones that are the most disciplined and the most consistent. You show up every day.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. That you hit it on the nail right there, because that is what it is really hard to move that point across to somebody that isn't necessarily an athlete and understands the same kind of, like, I guess, similarities or comparison between what training and what showing up on, in your practices, or showing up, on your meet days or game day or whatever sport you do,
Mm-hmm.
is the same thing as making sure, you're getting through school and you're showing up in school and you're showing up on exam day. And the same thing is when you get to the workforce, and it goes hand in hand. It's like it teaches you that sometimes you put in all this hard work and effort,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't go your way on race day.
Yeah.
But you have to go back the next day to practice, and you have to wipe off everything off the board,
Mm-hmm.
and be like, how do we still get there?
How do we still get? You got to keep going.
How do we? And it's the same thing with life. It's the same thing with life in general. So,
Mm-hmm. And that's why I love it so much. Like, and bro, and I'll eventually take the content. I know I mainly post comedic stuff. Stuff to make you laugh, this and that. But I'll actually dive into. I got more. I want to do inspirational stuff, motivational stuff, and kind of share my journey also. Just like that's what I love about running. It's like it translates with life so much. Like you can't stop. Once you stop, if you take a 2 week break, you don't run, you don't do anything. Like yeah, it won't kill you. But just know when you start back, that's gonna be the most agonizing run. Because I just did it. It just your muscles are gonna be stiff. You're not gonna be. I don't know, bro. It just hits different. It just keeps me going,
yeah.
knowing that they go hand in hand.
Yeah, I know 100%. Everyone kind of has a different variation in the way that they're able to train, or how, their body functions. And,
Mm-hmm.
some people have more fast twitch fibers, some people have slower, twitch fibers. Sometimes genetics can play a role into things.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes your just day-to-day routine can play, a role into things. You have somebody that, is in college taking all online classes and can show up and, do, track their whole life. And then there's some people that work a 9 to 5 and,
And
have
school.
to get up at 5 a.m. and go to the track and do all their stuff. And then after work, they have to hit the weight room, and then they got to rinse and repeat the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
But
that used to be me, but it sucked. Go ahead.
But there is somewhat of a similarity between everyone, in normally you will get out what you put in.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually. It's not going to show up there on day one. It's probably not going to show up there in a month. It might not even show up there in a year.
Yeah.
But as you figure it out, even though you were able to run 152 after transitioning from basketball, to track, you've been able to figure out that, like, it still took you a couple of years. It took you, another couple of years before you broke 150, right?
Yeah. Three more years or 2 more years? I'm gonna say 2 because I didn't run one of those seasons. I got
Yeah.
at the beginning of
And it's like I've seen this a lot. I listen to other podcasts and stuff like that, and everyone talks about the same thing that gets you to 1 to 10 is not the same thing that gets you to 10 to 100, and not the same thing that gets you 10 to 1,000. And it's the same thing. That's just the same thing as saying, like, what gets you from decent and good is not going to get you from good to great, and great to best in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so you've seen that. You're able to get to 206 to 152 pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But it's a whole different ball game when you try to get from 152 to 145.
Yes, bro. Oh, quick dive, I'll dive into something real quick. My first not even gonna say my first. All four of the first meets last season were all 151, and it was discouraging. And it was uplifting knowing that my ceiling went from here to here. Knowing that my worst race of the season was a 151, yet that was the best. But I was scared because it's like I'm running the same time over and over and over again. What can I fix? What do you do? You know, and that's when I took a trip to you. Go to UNF, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, took a trip there. I was like, because my coach, because he coaches there now. He used to coach at UNM. Coach Stahl, I'm sure you probably know him.
Yeah, yeah. He coached at UNF and then moved to ULM and then moved back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He was like, he looked at me with a straight face. He said, "You want to go to Florida to compete?" I thought he was kidding. I thought he was joking. I'm like, in my head, I'm not driving to Florida to compete.
Yeah.
He was like, I can get you connected with Coach Pig, this and that, and get you into the meet and stuff. He was dead serious. But anyways, what I'm getting at is, yeah, so I took that 12-hour drive, went up there to compete. I was like, I've come this far. I have no reason but to find an extra gear to run faster than 151. I have to. And that's when I said, I've come this far. I'm leaving with something. So, you know, the other races I opened up maybe 53.5 or like 54. This race I opened up in 52. It was the fastest opening,
Wow.
of all everybody. It was
Yeah.
52-18. So, and I got to pull up the race, bro. I mean, I was running by myself again because they put me in a slower heat, whatever.
Wow.
And I had to take that leap over fear. Like I knew,
And in the 800, sometimes it can be really scary to go out fast
yeah,
because you can feel good going through 52. You can hit 500, you can hit 550,
mm-hmm.
and once you hit 600,
You
650,
blow up.
oh, it can like in just a couple of seconds.
Yeah,
And I've been there before where it's like you literally you're looking at everyone else, past you, and you're just like, why can't I move
Why
my
can't
body anymore?
I made a I made a meme about that, and that one got some views.
Yeah.
Um, oh man, that's yeah. It was yeah. Um, I don't know. Yeah, that hit right on the spot, man. You just blow up.
Yeah, it can be scary, but in order for you to go take that next leap, I'm not gonna even say sometimes, you always have to do that.
Yeah,
It's just that's how life works. Like you want a bigger result, you got to take a bigger risk.
yep,
So, um, and but the one thing you can't do is get discouraged if it doesn't go the way that you want it to,
mm-hmm.
because let's just say you could run, you go through opening 52. Okay, let's take you for example, and let's just take the raw numbers for, just take it out of the equation.
Okay,
Okay. So you can go through 52, and, run a second 400 to 57, right? 52,
yeah,
57, that gets you 149. I know it can be, um, maybe it was 52 high and 56 high,
mm-hmm.
but let's just, put it out there, 52, 57, that gets you 149.
Yeah,
You could run those splits, and let's just say you do 52, and the first time you do it, you absolutely blow up and you run 52, 56.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, no, sorry. No, 52,
Like a minute or something.
50, let's just say you do 52, 66. You,
Yeah.
you, you bomb it. You bomb it. You run like 157, 158. And you're like, the next race, you're like, I'm not going to go out that fast. I'm not going to do that. Okay. And you end up going out slower, but then you still have gas in the tank.
Yeah.
And it's like, but it's the last meet of your season, and you realize you're like, well, even though that was a better race, you're always left with this feeling of regret, and it's
bro.
sometimes it's like, dude, even though you it might have not gone the way you wanted to, sometimes it's better to just go for it.
To
You
go
know what I'm
for it.
saying?
That's why I got into front running. That's exactly why I got into front running. I started out as, I guess, a sitting kicker. I
Yeah.
started out that way. And when I realized that I kept running races where I feel like I had more gas, like I'm like, okay, I finished that race. My motto is, if I finish the race and I'm walking and talking to you, I didn't give enough. So, I finished the race, still running, still plenty of energy and stuff. And that's when I realized I needed to make a switch,
Yeah.
um, and also chase faster times. So I'm like, okay, let's see if me pushing the pace a little bit faster can give a
Hmm.
faster outcome. And yeah, I mean, it's been a successful
Yeah.
strategy so far.
Yeah. Um, all right. So, okay, we talked about, a little bit of high school stuff. We talked about, transition from college to from basketball to track, which is something that I didn't think I was be talking about, but I thought it was very key that we did talk about that.
Yeah,
Because 100%, if you don't think somebody, there's definitely somebody out there in, your same shoes
hmm
that it's like it's maybe saying this, it can ring a bell in their head where they're like, maybe it's time that I go for it and try.
yeah,
And maybe it's something that they don't necessarily want to do, but you're not going to know what's on the other side until you actually try.
exactly.
So, and I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. Sometimes the most fulfilling or enjoy, things that you enjoy the most could be something you never thought you were going to enjoy before,
hmm
and you've seen it firsthand. So, if but we're going to talk about moving forward. And my first question moving forward is, well, actually, I have a pre-question to this one, and the
Okay,
pre-question is, what year was that when you like the actual year when you ran for it's Century, right?
centenary.
Centenary, sorry.
That was 2022. That was the spring of 2022.
20, okay, so 2022. Um, so do you technically have another year of eligibility then?
Bro, I have what 3 or 4? Because I was a COVID athlete. So when I came into college,
Yeah.
COVID hit. So that you get an extra year of eligibility for that. Um, but bro, I just got through dealing with all of this. And believe it or not, so I had an offer, I had a full ride for to run at UNF. So I was gonna be there. Um, but the NCAA just shut me down a few weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's insane.
I haven't run collegiately since 2022. So when I left Centenary, the neighboring school that I transferred to, they cut their program when I got there due to financial reasons. So
At
I'm stuck.
ULM?
No, no, this was at a junior college.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, junior college. They had it all the way up until this point. I got there, boom, season cut, this and that. So I couldn't run. So I ran for this club in Shreveport. Um, or Shreveport Speed. So yeah, I just kind of stuck with them. Um, and so yeah, I've been running unattached ever since. I've been fighting the case. I've been trying, bro. I've cried several nights knowing that I didn't have the same opportunity as other people, and it just wasn't fair. But um, and like I said, bro, I'll make content on this. I'll finally make. I don't want to wait till 2026, but that's when I'll make my shift into
Yeah.
sharing
Yeah,
my
yeah.
story.
So I know that stuff can get very, very personal sometimes, and depending on communications with NCAA, and it can,
Yeah,
there's different rules and stuff like that. So you can share as much as you possibly want or not. And I'm gonna put this question out here, just to put it out there, but you can do what you want with it. And
that's the way.
I think everybody wants to know this. why not? What is the main issue?
So when I left centenary college, I went to a junior college, and when you do that, if you want to go back to a university, or at this time I was trying to be recruited by another D1, or but just the university in general. So when you do that, you get considered as a 4.24 transfer, and you have two options if you want to be eligible to compete at that D1 or you know whatever university. You
Hmm.
have to either graduate with your associates first, or you have to meet some other crazy criteria. I don't remember what it was, but you have to graduate with your associate's degree. So I'm stuck there for 2 years either way, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so boom, I'm gonna jump into because I'm gonna make it a long story short. I don't dive into all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I finally graduated with my associate's degree. So I come to ULM, and I'm like, but I was at the junior college for PTA school. So I completed everything. I'm like, I want to go chase my dreams because I still have eligibility left. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
So,
100%.
so I got to ULM, and I'm like, okay, you know, I should be able to run. You know, because I graduated, I did what they told me I needed to do.
Yeah.
But since I went to a junior college and was taking the classes that I needed for this certain degree, it was still like I guess a junior level degree. So now the next problem is towards degree completion, PTD completion. So
Yeah.
you have to be, and now this is for D1, I know for sure, but like you have to be at a certain academic level along with your classification or how many hours that you take. So I had the class hours of a senior, but I was coming to ULM with, I guess, like junior level credits since I was at a junior
Hmm.
college. So in order to be eligible, you better take a lot of summer classes, a lot of winter classes to catch up.
Yeah.
Um, so that was the next issue. So I did that. I completed that. I did that in the spring, but when I completed that, my clock technically ran out. And once your clock runs out, I mean, that's it. So we put in an appeal, or we put in an appeal, yeah, to get it to get extra time. They
Hmm.
denied it the first time, so we put in another appeal. We've been waiting for six. Oh, geez, I don't want to do that. We've been waiting for about 6 or 7 months. I got to, bro. I got to. But
Oh
yeah,
my
we've been
gosh.
waiting. We've been waiting for a little over a year for them to answer back, and they just told us no. Um, but yeah. So it's just been problem after problem. The last problem was
Yeah.
them denying my appeal, but my clock ran out technically,
Okay.
which is.
Oh,
But
oh no, you can finish. Sorry.
no, I was about to say, which is crazy because you hear about all these athletes getting
Yeah.
all these
You know,
years.
that's what I was about to get into,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna say two things right now. The first thing is, we both know that the NCAA has changed dramatically in the last few years.
Yeah.
NIL has affected it. Um, Roster limits has affected it. Uh, there's, um, you know, just a whole mess of things that have changed the last few years. And uh, you said you were 24, correct?
Yeah.
24, and maybe 10 years ago, I would have said, I was only 10 at the time, but let's just say I was 20. Let's
Jeez,
just
bro,
say
you
I was
make me feel
20
old,
10
man.
years ago. What?
You make me feel old.
No, 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 no,
No,
no,
I'm playing.
no.
I'm
Don't.
playing. I'm playing.
Let's just say, I was a college athlete 10 years ago.
Mhm.
I would have thought, um, 24, maybe it's time to move on.
Mhm.
But it's not that anymore. It's that NCAA has become, a semi-professional league at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like
It really
it's
has.
like I from a personal standpoint, I don't personally agree with it.
Uh huh.
I don't think that I don't think that, these guys should be being paid to play in college. I think they
Yeah.
should just go pro automatically. And this is I want before you come to any kind of conclusion about anything. I want you to take as this is my personal opinion on anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Of course.
if I'm looking at it at the outside in, I would think I'd be like Devante. Um, you know, I don't think he probably should be able to compete at 24 or whatever like that. But
Right.
it doesn't matter anymore because I understand that this is the way the NCAA works now. And
Yes.
I understand that if you're 24 and you want to go out there and get your bag and you want to get your scholarship, then at this point, so be it. Go ahead and do that. Like you deserve it.
Hmm.
I just don't think it's good for the NCAA, for the system, for athletes that are 17 trying to get recruited, 16 trying to get recruited. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Trying to compete against 29-year-old Kenyans.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like, and regardless of my personal opinion, it doesn't matter because it's how the world works and that's how the NCAA works.
Hmm.
So from that standpoint, I say, Devante, I think you should deserve, to keep going and be able to at least have one more year, to experience what it is to, be a college athlete, let alone. I think 149 should definitely be D1.
Yes.
You should, have at least a scholarship to go, sorry, to go, compete at Division I school. And yeah, I. Yeah, I apologize. I mean, I'm sorry you're going through that, man. I, I know it sucks. I know it's
Yeah.
terrible. I
ECM
don't know
every day.
exactly I don't know how you're feeling specifically. I can't put myself exactly in your shoes, but if that was me, I would be frustrated as you are. So, um, you know, I really hope that, the appeal goes through and something like that. But, um, if it doesn't.
Oh yeah, it got denied already. They said no again. So
Oh, they did.
yeah.
For the second time?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you said you're still waiting on the second.
No,
Uh,
my bad. I may have worded that wrong. But yeah, no, they said no just maybe 3 weeks ago. They're like, no.
that
Yeah.
sucks. I'm sorry, man.
I mean,
Um,
it's life, you know. I,
yeah,
I can either stop and be like, oh my gosh, blah blah blah, this and that, or I can use it for, as it's a testimony, it's
yeah,
fuel. I mean, the world isn't going to stop.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, there's. I feel like at this point that I don't know how to exactly describe this, and maybe you can understand what I'm saying. I feel like recently in the track space, there's been a lot more outliers like than in the past. And what I mean by that is like Cooper Lukenhouse running 142 at 16 years old.
hmm
And it's like I feel like those kind of things have just been over the last year or two have just been popping up so much more frequently than they were like 10 years ago. It's like,
Yeah.
Quincy Wilson, it's the kind of thing, you got, guys running, 14:10 in the 5K and you're like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
And it's like it just I think that for the average high schooler, let's just say the average high schooler that is probably in a position to go D1, I think for a majority of them it's affected them in a negative way.
hmm
But it's kind of like brung up the already elite people even more. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make
What do you
sense?
mean? Like,
Like,
as far as recruitment goes for them, or like,
as far as recruitment, like, and this is happening across like any sport. Uh, it's like, oh, you have two guys that are both, let's just say college football, whatever. You have
hmm
two guys coming out of high school that are both, and NFL talented one day, but one guy is getting paid $5 million a year to play quarterback for UCLA, and then you have an offensive lineman that's also NFL talented, but you don't hear any kind of NIL deal coming, with that guy or whatever.
hmm
And it's like, it just, I don't know. The whole thing is just, it doesn't feel right. You know what I'm saying?
You mean as far as like the system now, just the NILs and
Yeah, just like, it's like, I feel like it's removing amateurism from the picture
yeah,
and removing what the NCAA was all about to begin with.
yeah,
Like, if anybody doesn't remember, um, only amateur athletes, only college athletes could go to the Olympics in the past.
uh,
Like, and they changed that, and it was like a whole like debate, whole like, oh my God, this is insane. Like, we're paying athletes to go to the Olympics now, and then now it's just like it's kind of like that thing where if you lower the dam, then if you lower the floodgates, it's you're not going to be able to stop it.
hmm
And it's like, I don't know your personal opinion on it. I just think that I think that it's not gonna be good. I think at some point it's going to either destroy the NCAA completely, or the
yes,
NCAA is not going to be the NCAA anymore.
uh-huh.
It's not going
No,
to be
I'm
the
with you.
national.
I'm with you. I don't like. Yeah, I feel like there should be some compensation for some of these athletes with their talents. Like they're
Yeah,
really good. I feel like that should be through, I guess, more gifts versus just, I guess, money. Because, like, I don't know. I've heard several stories of athletes like, oh, I don't want to go here because I didn't get that much NIL money,
yeah,
or like, there was a debate for the center. There's a center for this team or whatever. Got millions of dollars, never played a game of that season. He's just sitting on the bench, and a lot of people were upset about that, just because like it's college. um, but I mean, I feel like it just takes away from college.
yeah,
It's not like I understand that it's like college, and like you were saying earlier, like my age and stuff. Like yeah, a lot of people. It should be time for them to move on at that point. But like there was like because I agree with you, but like I agree with you, but at the same time, like I can see what some of the people mean. At the same time, it's like it's a business at the end of the day,
that's
and like
yeah.
coaches,
No, that's
coaches
like
are gonna.
yeah, that's exactly what I was just trying to say. Is like
Mhm.
the way that the NCAA is set up now, where it's a business, and
Yeah,
like 100%.
that's it.
It's like you 100% deserve to have another year. But
Yeah.
for the future of the NCAA and like, you know, how amateurism is going to work,
hmm
it's not a good idea if you were given another opportunity. So
It's
that's all I'm trying to say.
yeah, no, I know exactly, bro. I'm telling you, bro. They're following guidelines instead of being humans. You know,
Yeah.
because I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't gonna dive into it just yet. I told you I was gonna make it, my own story and stuff. Whenever that time was right, but my circumstances were so like messed up. If I'm being honest, if I could really compare my circumstances, I'm not saying nobody else has like a dire situation to where you know, their circumstances were really bad, but mine were just wham, wham, just
Yeah.
repeatedly. And it's like, you really have to be a monster to say no to my appeal. I'm gonna just be honest. um, it was ridiculous, man. And I feel like I don't even know like what the NCAA will look like in the next 5 or 10 years, because like the way it's going,
Yeah.
NIL money, just it's.
I don't yeah, I have no clue either. I I think it's just kind of a negative trend now down the line, because it's like it's just I don't know. It's like I feel like it's just given so many high school athletes this false sense of hope that they're gonna they're gonna go. It's like if a
That's
school flashes NIL money at them, all of a sudden they think
that's all
that this
tunnel
is a
vision.
hundred percent what I'm gonna.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, the school thinks I'm going pro. I'm gonna go all in. Like I'm gonna do gender studies. Like and I'm gonna flunk out, like only get a 2.0 GPA to be eligible or whatever. I'm gonna party every weekend because this is all, I'm gonna be an athlete. That's gonna be me.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, it's like you realize that you're basically a punching dummy for them,
Hmm.
and that's your compensation. Like you're making 50 grand a year, to play basketball, at a lower Division 1 school, and that's cool and all, but you don't realize that once you get there, you're gonna be sick with the flu, and they're gonna say, "Dude, remember we paid you that 50 grand? You gotta start this
You
weekend.
gotta
We don't
tug it
care.
out.
We don't.
Tug
We
it
don't
out.
care about your health.
Yeah.
We
But
don't."
like you said, to open up, like you said you're getting 50K. That's all they care about. That's all. In that whole thing you just said, that's all they
Yeah.
heard.
That's all. It's what, and it's like it's just, and you're taking advantage of kids that are, most of the time when they get recruited aren't even 18 years old,
Yeah.
and it's like I, I'm not going to go detail into my personal story because I talked about it a lot, and some of the stuff I don't like talking about. But um, I was I was taken advantage in my recruiting
Mm.
as well, and
Wow.
that was actually part of the reason why I decided to leave VCU.
Mm.
Um, I uh, I spent a year there. I put up some really great results, but
Yeah.
I was severely taken advantage of,
You were an
and
opposite. You're just.
yeah. So, but there's some stuff I'm not allowed to talk about. Some stuff I
Right.
am, but it doesn't matter. I was honestly kind of that first group of where roster limits and NIL started to come into the picture, and coaches started to prioritize that over the health
Wow.
of their athletes.
Yeah.
So,
I,
um,
I
yeah.
hate to hear that.
Yeah, so, and I'm supposed to graduate next fall, and I'm looking into schools that I can potentially run at for graduate school.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, because
Wait.
I actually will still, I'm going to be 21 when I graduate next fall, and I'm still going to have about a year and a half of eligibility after that.
Mm.
So, uh,
So, can I ask a question real quick?
yeah, no
Yeah.
problem.
So, why aren't you running? Or like now, I guess. Or like, why not try to walk? Is that a personal? I guess a personal
Oh
thing.
no,
Or
I did compete last outdoor unattached. Um,
my bad. I meant like like collegiately though. I know it's not
oh,
me
like
now.
why didn't I transfer to another school to run?
No, I'm saying like what? Because you go to UNF now, though. Right?
Yeah, no, I go to.
So why
Why
not?
am I
Why
not
not
running
try
for
to walk on?
UNF?
Yeah, why not walk on or like try to get
Um,
recruited or anything?
so I actually talked to Coach Stahl
Mm.
before he left ULM when I transferred
Mm-hmm.
to UNF, and uh, I don't know if at that time he knew he was leaving the ULM or not, or I don't know if he did or not, but I had communication with him, and it was I was I was going to walk on to UNF, but at the same time that happened when, because how it is, it's just a verbal thing. There isn't any
Yeah.
kind of like commitment or whatever. At the same time, that's when the NCAA approved roster limits, and
Jeez.
I was a part of the group. I was part of the group that got cut off for roster limits.
Yeah.
So
Jeez.
yeah. I have tremendously been screwed over by the NCAA. So trust me, I know how you feel.
Yeah.
So that's why I said I don't know how you feel into your exact shoes, but trust me, I know how you feel. So, but
Oh man. Yeah, we
yeah,
kind of fall in the same boat.
yeah. So, but there was a time where I cried about it as well because
Yeah.
it was kind of uh, it kind of ruined my future and my my the plan that I set off on myself and stuff like that. And since then I've gotten multiple Division One offers to go run for schools.
Hey, bro, that's dope.
The issue is just financial stuff.
Yeah, that's the
It's
biggest thing.
I just I can't, I can't afford to go to, I actually got offered by Louisiana Tech
Wow.
um, to go run
Yeah,
there.
the out of state
It's
piece.
too much out of state.
Hmm.
I can't afford it. And everybody's saying, "Oh, bro, go chase your dreams. Like, go take out a loan." And it's like, dude, it's not smart.
Yeah.
I can't take out a loan. Like, it's just it's not smart to go in that much debt. And, you've probably been there too, or you've maybe had an opportunity to, like, but
I wanted to. I really did. I wanted to, but my dad and I got into like our first argument ever. Because I wanted to. I wanted to go to the school that offered me in Texas. It was like one of the top NAIA schools like in the country. It's like
mhm.
Wayland Baptist or something like that. Apparently they have like 146s and 147s and stuff.
Yeah.
But it just wasn't. When you look at long term, like yeah, I could look back and say, hey, I chased my dreams, this and that. But long
Yeah.
term, it just wasn't what was best for me and my family. So
No, yeah. 100%. I think I can actually get you on that one.
yeah.
Like I know that exact feeling of what you had to go through. And it's a very niche feeling, but I'm pretty sure that I know,
Hmm.
you know, what that's like. And I got into an argument with my dad about it too. Uh, so,
Hey man, we're living in the
um,
same
yeah.
same thing.
So, but, um, you know, I'm gonna graduate, in the fall, and I get basically, I begin, once I graduate, then graduate school will be a little, less expensive, and it'll be, hopefully I get a scholarship and stuff like that, and I basically get a year and a half to go for it.
Yeah,
So I think that's what I'm gonna do.
I hope that works out, man.
So
Bro,
yeah,
may the NCAA not make any more crazy regulations because I hope
yeah.
that works out.
I'm already talking to a school right now, so
Okay.
I am I'm hoping and praying that everything's gonna work out. But at this point, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. So, and actually, I want to go to graduate school for AI.
Okay.
Um, yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna get my master's in AI, which I think will be really cool. And
Bro, that's gonna be
yeah,
that's a good. I mean, that's a good route to go, especially with where things are headed in the world.
yeah. I am making um I think it's gonna be something that I'm gonna have in my back pocket, and then that's gonna be in the next 5 or 10 years.
Hmm.
That is going to be like I just when you have that feeling where you're like this is something I need to do, and it's gonna pay off.
Yeah.
That's the kind of feeling that I have right
Yeah.
now about that, and it's like if I can kind of jump on it and be the first person, let's just say a major tech company needs somebody to specialize in AI in the
Uh
future.
huh.
Like
Okay.
I have a feeling that I'm,
Yeah. I see where you're
so
headed now. I like that. I see where you're headed.
yeah,
You're kind of like, it's kind of like you're kind of. It seems like you're kind of like what with like the stocks right now. It's like you know, investing like you. Yeah.
exactly. So I'm hoping it'll pay off, but um, so we talked about the past, we talked about college stuff, what for future. Um, I'm gonna check a couple questions that people had for you.
Okay.
Um, and Actually, the first one's going to be in the chat. Uh, Somebody asked if you had a uh, shoot, I'm having a brain fart right now. Um, oh, if you prefer split shorts or half tights.
How high are the split shorts? I don't know, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I don't even think I've never worn half tights. I'm new to terminology, by the way, like track and stuff. When I told you I was new to the sport, like when I joined the team, my coach was like, "Do you have any flats?" I'm like, "What does that even mean?" Like, spikes? He was like, "Go get your spikes," and I'm like I'm thinking he's talking about the spikes, not
Yeah,
the
yeah,
shoe.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. No,
yeah,
no, no,
I'm thinking,
100%.
yeah. So he's that flat. So I've never worn half tights. I don't know. Because I wear compression shorts when I wear
Yeah.
split
So,
shorts.
so half tights are more of the ones that, to be honest, kind of look like underwear.
Right. Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
split,
I get that.
the split shorts are like they're like short shorts, but like they actually have like
That long.
imagine on the sides they're cut on the sides
Yeah.
of.
Okay. Right. I don't know.
Maybe maybe if your coach was like, "Hey, you gotta wear half tights, or you gotta wear split shorts. Which ones are you going for?"
I don't know. Probably split shorts. Um, Actually, a lot half tights. I feel a little in the split shorts that I wore. I felt a little restricted in them. Which I don't think they were like legit like runners split shorts. They
Yeah.
were short and they were split, but I feel like the split needed to be a little bit higher probably. I
Uh-uh.
just didn't feel like I got efficiency. I could move efficiently, so probably half tights.
All right. Okay. Um.
You start once, man. You got questions for me?
uh. Yeah. Just just inappropriate comment that
All right, bro. That one up top
I had to
was
get rid of.
crazy.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it goes crazy. Um.
Man.
I normally have a moderator, but I couldn't get them on today. So. Um. But okay. So this other question that somebody told me was also something that I am probably not going to ask. So,
Go for it. Oh, is it Matt?
yeah, no,
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
it's
okay, yeah, yeah, no, yeah.
um, but I think we're probably gonna wrap it up there.
Yeah.
Do you? I guess do you have any last thoughts you want to leave for the listener, and maybe if they're going through the same thing you've gone through about you figuring out transitioning from life different aspects of life um on top of dealing with stuff that out of your control that hasn't gone your way, maybe a little bit of advice about that.
Life doesn't stop. I'll start there. Life's gonna keep going. Whatever you're dealing with, um, the world doesn't stop for you. So you can't stop going. You can't stop trying. Feel bad for you. Take time. Obviously, you're gonna get human. It's gonna hit you. Grief's gonna hit you. It's gonna take time to get past what you're dealing with. But just know that like there's no other alternative but to keep going. And to always remember that someone out there does have it worse than you. That's another thing that keeps me going is there are people that wish they could run, yet they may maybe they weren't born with legs, maybe they you know um goodness um but just knowing that you're blessed regardless of what you're dealing with. I had something else in mind, but it slipped my mind. And another thing is don't let fear stop you from you know, achieving achieving anything that you put your mind to.
I'd like to hear that. I think that's a great way of ending this thing.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you coming on, Devante, and sharing all your insight and maybe sharing the things that are a little uh, sometimes it can be a little embarrassing, and sometimes are not the best things you want to hear come out of your mouth, but uh, some sometimes a good idea to just talk about it and learn from your mistakes and and move forward.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I really hope that everything works out going into the future, and even though competing in college is 99.9%, you know, in the past now, unless some kind of new NCAA rule pops up, which could very much
It
they
could
could,
be.
in 3 months from now they could be like Devante, we're actually moving our eligibility to 10 years now. We're making this a semi-professional league, so you got another 5 years to compete if you want.
Right.
But not to get on your hopes or anything.
Right. Now
So
you got me thinking. It's like, yeah, like
it's
that'd
like
be dope.
maybe actually uh with I'm gonna say this one more thing. I know I keep on adding to this, but uh they did do that thing with I don't know if you know Diego Pavia, quarterback of Vanderbilt.
I heard
Um
about that.
he was JUCO, and then he went to NCAA D1,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave him another 2 years of eligibility and took away his what JUCO counted for NCAA D1.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I really hope everything works out in the future, running wise, school wise, professional life in the future. But
Yeah.
you're a really big inspiration, man. Especially when it comes to you know showing people that even when something gets in your way, you could just gotta keep going.
Yeah.
So one
And
more
you too,
time,
man.
um,
But
but thanks for coming on.
yeah, man. Now, thanks for having me. It's been dope. I'm gonna keep up with your channel and stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.